They tried to steal my house, over $300, not a bank, not the government, the HOA, and the woman behind it all, Karen. She smiled while handing me a foreclosure notice, like she was doing me a favor. What she didn't know was that this single piece of paper would destroy her entire HOA empire. I came home to a bright orange notice taped across my front door, intent to foreclose. My hands shook. I read it again and again. $300. That was the amount Karen claimed I owed for a late landscaping compliance fee I was never notified about. Minutes later, she appeared. Perfect hair, tight smile, clipboard hugged to her chest like a shield. Rules are rules, Karen said calmly. You should have paid on time. I told her I never received a notice. She tilted her head and smirked. That's not my problem. Neighbors watched from their windows. This was her favorite part, public humiliation. Fear, control. She wanted me to panic. She wanted me to beg. Instead, I went quiet because something felt wrong. Too fast, too aggressive, too personal. Karen didn't just want the $300. She wanted my house. Before we go any further, if you've ever dealt with HOA madness, share and subscribe right now. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from, city and country. I want to see how far this HOA insanity spreads. That night, I pulled every HOA letter I'd ever received. And that's when I noticed it. Dates didn't line up, signatures looked copied, and Karen's name was everywhere. This wasn't enforcement. It was a setup. And Karen had made one fatal mistake. She underestimated how patient I could be. The harassment started the very next morning. At 6:12 a.m., my phone buzzed. HOA violation notice number 2. Unapproved trash bin placement. By noon, there were 3 more. Fence height, window curtains, even the color of my welcome mat. Karen wasn't subtle anymore. She was flooding me. When I stepped outside, she was already there, standing across the street, arms crossed, watching like a predator who smelled blood. Her car idled slowly as she took photos of my house. Every click of her phone felt deliberate, calculated. I confronted her. This is harassment, I said. She smiled without warmth. No, she replied, this is compliance. That afternoon, a certified letter arrived, then another, and another, each one escalating the threat. Legal language, deadlines in bold, words like liens, seizure, foreclosure, printed so large they felt like they were screaming at me. Neighbors stopped making eye contact. One whispered, she did this to the Johnsons. Another said, once Karen targets you, it's over. But what Karen didn't realize was that intimidation leaves fingerprints. I began recording everything, the timestamps, the wording, the sudden spike in violations after I questioned her authority. Then came the twist. While reviewing HOA bylaws, I discovered something shocking. Only the board, not Karen, could authorize foreclosure proceedings. Yet her signature was stamped across every notice. No board vote, no hearing, no approval, just Karen, pretending to be the law. And when I requested an emergency board meeting, Karen denied it, in writing. That denial was the moment I knew this wasn't just bullying anymore. It was fraud. And she had no idea how exposed she was about to become. First crack came from someone I didn't expect, Linda, the HOA secretary. She knocked on my door just after sunset, eyes darting like she was being watched. She didn't sit down, just handed me a flash drive and said, I can't do this anymore. Inside were meeting minutes that never happened, votes that were never taken, emails Karen had written from other board members' accounts, approving fines they didn't even know existed. Karen wasn't enforcing rules. She was impersonating authority. Word spread fast once the truth leaked. Neighbors I barely knew started reaching out quietly. Screenshots, voicemails, threatening letters identical to mine, only the names were different. Karen had a pattern. Target one homeowner, overwhelm them, threaten foreclosure, force payment, or silence. But this time her target fought back. I submitted a formal complaint to the state HOA oversight office attaching everything, the forged notices, the fake approvals, the denial of a legally required hearing. 3 days later, Karen snapped. She showed up unannounced, pounding on my door, shouting about defamation and legal consequences. Neighbors recorded everything as she spiraled, screaming that I was destroying the community. That footage went viral in our neighborhood group chat, and then the final twist dropped. An audit request was approved. Karen's control depended on no one looking too closely. Now, everyone was watching. And once the money trail was opened, there was no way back. Karen didn't show up to the emergency HOA meeting. That alone told us everything. Instead, a letter arrived. This time not from her, but from the state HOA oversight office. The audit results were brutal. Funds misallocated, unauthorized fines, forged approvals, threats issued without legal standing. And worst of all, multiple attempted foreclosures with zero board consent. Karen hadn't just abused power, she'd manufactured it. By the end of the week, her access to HOA systems was revoked. Bank accounts frozen, legal notices issued. The same neighbors she once terrified now sat in silence as her name was read aloud, line by line, attached to every violation she accused others of committing. The foreclosure notice on my door, formally declared invalid. The $300 fee, erased. And Karen? She resigned before she could be removed, then tried to disappear quietly. But humiliation doesn't fade that fast. Her actions were reported, investigations continued, and the Queen of Compliance became a cautionary tale whispered at every block meeting. I didn't celebrate. I just stood in my doorway, staring at the house she almost stole, and realized how close I came to losing everything over a lie. This isn't just my story, it's a warning. Unchecked HOA power destroys lives. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think HOAs have too much power? Have you ever dealt with a Karen like this? Or something even worse? Share your experience in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story opened your eyes, like, share and subscribe for more real HOA nightmare stories, because the quietest neighborhoods often hide the loudest abuse of power.